Hey guys, this is Tommy with BetterBushcraft.com, and I wanted to shoot a real quick video for you today about my fire kit that I keep in my Maxpedition backpack whenever I go bushcrafting or just camping. And I wanted to show you the different things that I carry with me in my main fire kit. So, like I said, this is my main fire kit that I keep with me. And surprisingly, I don't use the contents in here very often, only because I always have fire steels and cotton balls on me in my pockets or in my side pouch that I keep with me. But I always carry this with me in my backpack because this is more of my robust kit that I keep for making fires. And I have some great things in here that will make sure that I have a fire going whenever I need one. So, like all good fire kits, you need to have a good sturdy container to keep it all together. This one I found at Gordman's, the clothing and craft store that they have all over the place. And I went there one time with my wife. She wanted to go shopping, so I went over to the area where they have picture frames and different plants and plant pots and stuff like that. So anyways, I found this container over there. I think I paid $6 or $7 for it, and it has worked for me really well. The outside is made of some type of I don't know, probably fake leather or something like that, and it has a nice little brass closure right here. And the bottom, I don't know if you could tell, but is like a felt of some sort. And what I really like about this container is that it's really hard. It's pretty robust. It doesn't leak very much, so all the stuff in here is pretty much waterproof, and it really has been a great piece of equipment for me. So if you don't have a container for your fire making materials and stuff, I really suggest you go out and try to find some type of good container. Just starting out, you could always use some type of Ziploc baggie or something like that, but you really want to go towards something that is more robust. So let's go ahead and look and see what I have inside my main fire kit. So as I open this up, one of the first things on top is some cotton balls. I always have cotton balls on me because they're a very inexpensive way to make a fire. These happen to be dipped in candle wax, and I had an old candle that I no longer needed, so I melted the wax down and poured it over some cotton balls, and it is a really great way to have a fire starter. I need to replenish this bag. As you can see, I only have 2 left. This thing was packed full, but I've been using them a little bit more often, and I usually save these type of cotton balls for when I need to light some tinder that's a little bit more damp and not so dry. So these are a great way to start a fire. So let's put that to the side. Next thing up on top, I have a well, basically what it is a some people call it a Fresnel lens, I believe. What it is I took this out of a flashlight. This is the reflector where the bulb usually goes in, and that's how flashlights work. So I took this out of a cheap flashlight, and I tried this several times, and this is a really great way to start a fire using the sun. I wouldn't rely on this all the time, of course, but it's a fun way to start a fire and build some of your skills. What you would do is you'd put some tinder and maybe some leaves or something in here, and you'd reflect the sunlight and get it directly on that spot, and man, you can get a fire going really quickly using this type of equipment. So it's really inexpensive. You can find an old flashlight and just pop this out of it, and then you have another way to start a fire. So we got that in the kit. Alright, next in here I have more cotton balls. You'll see that as a theme in here. I love cotton balls. But anyways, these cotton balls are dipped in petroleum jelly. I wrote an article about how to make these, and I'll shoot another video of how to do it step by step, but it's really easy. Basically it's just cotton balls, and I put some petroleum jelly in this bag, and I smushed it all around, and now you have a great fire starter. And you don't need to use the whole cotton ball. You could just rip off some of this fluff, kind of fluff it up, and use your fire steel and get that going. So I have these in my kit. Alright, next up I have, let's see, I think I have 2 of these cubes. These are the Weber fire starters that you get like at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're used to start a charcoal grill. They're really light. I mean, it's basically there's nothing here, but these are another great fire starter. If you're going to use a fire steel on these, you got to kind of scrape up the top, and it's really easy to do. You can see that's coming apart real easy, but you scrape it up, you start it with your fire starter or whatever you're using, and these go for a long time. So I keep a couple of these inside my fire kit, and I have these all around my backpack as well. So I got those in my kit. Next up, I don't know how well you could see this, but it's jute twine that you can get at a hardware store, and I just dipped it in petroleum jelly. And this is another great fire starter. You can rip up the fibers in this cord, and it's a great way to start a fire. And it also is, if you needed to, another source of cordage. You know, you could still use this as rope if you needed to, but I mainly use it for a fire starter. Okay, next up in my kit, let's see, I got a magnifying glass. I think this is actually from, yeah, it is. It's from the same flashlight that I took apart, and it has a little bit of magnifying glass here, and you can use that to start a fire too using the sun source, and it's just another backup. So I mean, if you get an old flashlight, you got two ways to start a fire from it, so a very inexpensive way to add some pieces to your kit. Next up, I have some dryer lint. You know, you just pull this out of your dryer all the time. It's free. It goes up really quickly, but it is another way to start a fire, and you could add petroleum jelly to it if you wanted to, but this is just dryer lint. Next, we have a magnesium bar. This is one that actually works. You got to be careful on what type of magnesium bar you get, but this one is an American made one, and it works pretty well. I don't use magnesium too much, but I still have it in here just in case. Plus it's got another fire steel on the side if I needed that. So got that. Next up, I got some towelettes I swiped from Buffalo Wild Wings last time we were there. It's an alcohol pad. They go really well. I mean, they get used very well for a fire steel or a lighter. Next up, I got matches. Don't depend on them all the time because, you know, they can get wet or whatever. You can waterproof them if you wanted to, but I got matches in this kit, quite a few of them. Next up, I got a lighter, just a big lighter. This is a backup, of course. You always want to have backups, so this is always full. I hardly ever use it. I got some Ranger bands. These are really good for a fire starter. Usually just for a lighter, you just light them up and they burn for a long time. They smell really bad, but it's another fire starter. Some more of those. I got a candle. I actually got two candles. I got just a, what are these called, a votive candle on top, and a small one. This is could be used for a fire starter or some type of light source around your camp. Next up, I got more pads. Let's see what else I have left in this kit. I got more matches in a different pouch. You want to kind of separate your matches in case one gets compromised. You still have a backup pouch. So I got that. And the last thing I have in here are a bunch of popsicle sticks. You know, they take up no room inside my kit because I just lined the outside of them with it. But a great thing about these is if you can't find really dry tinder, you can use these to get your fire started. You can scrape off little shavings of this and use a fire steel if you run out of cotton balls or something. It's always just nice to have some dry wood to get your fire going. So I mean, these cost practically nothing and they take up little room in my kit. And I think that's it. Everything else inside this kit is just extra Ranger bands and stuff. So as you can see, I keep a lot of different types of fire starters and tinder in my kit, just so I know I can always get a fire going. And you can't really tell with this lighting, but the inside of this is padded, so it keeps everything pretty soundproof, and it's nice just to keep it all compact. So there's a short video of my fire kit. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and email me, and go ahead and try to make your own fire kit, and I hope that this video was helpful for y'all. So I'll see you guys next time.